So to achieve that relationship with ourselves, we have to have a relationship with another person whose seed we have planted into. Only then when that happens, then there is a relationship whereby I could be relating with myself while relating with another person. Now I have to record this. Something extraordinary. I've been asking a question all this while. I ask myself why I feel a tremendous sense of happiness whenever I empty myself of everything. And this emptiness is, I must explain, it's not a thought-based emptiness. It's an emptiness of the soul. I can feel the soul. And the soul, as it is, has nothing to do with all the acquisitions that I have. And the soul, as it is, has nothing to do with all the thoughts that I have. It has nothing to do with the identity that I believe myself to be, that I've been holding on through the years, an identity of space-time called David Chiu. The soul has nothing to do with that. And as a result of my observation of my own thoughts, I've been able to enter into breath, into soul. And I wondered to myself all the time, I've been asking this question, I couldn't find the answer. Where's the joy that I'm having? Why is it so joyful within me when I touch the emptiness of soul, when I touch the breath of soul? I've been asking that question. I couldn't find why I deserve to inherit that delight, that joy. But only just a while ago, it came upon me. It is found in the Torah. The Torah says that on the Sabbath, remember to keep the Sabbath day holy. You shall cease all your work. And not only that, you, your children, and everyone in your household. It is not stated that my spouse should be at rest. I mean, it says you and your children and your maidservant and all that is in your household. But the word spouse was missed out. And why? The answer is that I'm the spouse of God. I'm the wife of God. So when I take my rest, I'm taking a rest as a spouse. And when God says, remember to keep the Sabbath day holy, there was no identity there. It doesn't say, remember thou to take your rest. It never says that. In other words, that identity that is remembering to take a rest is God Himself, is the one unity. Taking a rest with whom? Taking a rest with me, the spouse. I realize that the delight of my soul, when I am an empty soul, unattached to everything else, is the sexual relationship that I'm having with the One Most High, who is the husband. That's right, the husband. So God is the husband and I am the wife. And I'm having a sexual relationship with Him. I don't understand how that can happen, but it's happening. I've been having this delight for quite a while. But now I'm understanding why I'm having delight. Because I'm having a relationship with my husband. I'm the woman. He's entering into me. And that's why I'm having a delight of my soul. Continuously. Even right now, as I'm talking to you. And just a few hours ago, I had a conversation with a friend, and he was telling me about his loveless life. And when I heard that, I felt very sad about him. No, he had been married and with children, but he said he had loveless life. And now this one year, somebody is coming to his life, and they had sexual relationship, and he said that he has found love. Okay, that's great. But then, from my understanding and analysis with him, and he kind of agreed as well, that the woman that he loves and found love is a woman that's after his money. That's a fact. He kind of agreed as well. I was kind of really concerned for him because she's after his money. And I told him that he should break off the relationship because although you have love for her, she may not love you equally because of the fact that she's after your money. But then, interestingly, he isn't convinced about that. He knows that she's after his money, but she still wants that sexual love. And I told him that if you cannot take it, you might as well purchase that love from any prostitute. It isn't the right thing to do, but there's no other choice. But for some reason, he still go after this girl who's go all out for his money, his savings, his insurance policy, everything. And for a moment I thought, what's happening? But then last night I have a dream. And this dream tells me that a man seeks for love. And once the love is taking place, the penetration has taken place, you can't exactly take that away. There's a bond, there's a relationship. And even if that woman is after your money, you are having a relationship that cannot exactly be broken. Gosh. And that may well explain why he is reluctant to leave the woman, despite the woman's incessant greed and lack of love for him. Maybe the woman loved him, but money was essential in that relationship. I don't know. But what is so interesting about it is that he couldn't get out of this relationship. But the purpose why I tell you this story is because it is to emphasize the fact that a man needs love. And when he found that love, whether it be sexual or not, a bond is so great he couldn't let it go. And all of us is after that love too. All of us. From day one, we need to find that love. And we go all out to find that love in things, in projects, everywhere, in objects of love, etc. But the true love, which is in the soul, if a person has not found it, the search continues. But what is so funny about the whole thing is that they search it in things, in people, in something that they can see. But very strangely, which I want to emphasize here, is that love is found in the nothing state. Like this man that I was talking to, once he found what he saw as love, he don't want to let it go. Even though that woman is after his wealth, he wouldn't want to let it go because love is not about wealth. And even if he loses all of it, I don't know, but he still wants that love. And he couldn't explain it to me. Sex is just one aspect of that love, which is exterior. There is a greater and deeper love that goes beneath the sex completely. but it's kind of equivalent. It's a love with your own God. It's a very soul loving itself. It's called being. And we can only achieve this when we are nothing. Because if you are loving something, you are missing the soul. But if you are nothing, then you are in a position to love yourself. But being nothing is not simply having no thoughts. Being nothing is not simply imagining that you are nothing. There's something so deep inside that you feel that you have given your all. That's the kind of feeling that I have when I have this sexual relationship with the soul. And it's just like having sex, but except that it is continuous. It is not a momentary orgasm. It's a continuous orgasm that can stretch the whole day. It's having sex from the perspective of a woman. That's right. You're being penetrated by God. And you give your all. You're just simply nothing, and you open everything to all there is. It's a very strange feeling. You're nothing and yet everything. When the penetration takes place, you feel yourself totally penetrated and nothing, right? But at the same time, what is penetrating me is filling me up. And so I feel everything. How do one explain this phenomena of beingness? Now, let me explain it by saying that you have somebody out there, a girl, okay, and you hug her, okay, but that is not enough. Do you know why? Because a seed in you have not entered into her. You have not penetrated into her as yet. So a complete love has to be a seed penetrating into her. In other words, what is yours has entered into her. In other words, she becomes like you. That's the key point. She is now you. So this is love. Love is where you see everyone as yourself. There's no separation anymore. And that's called beingness. That's all. You are not being identified by someone else. You don't need to be elevated or caressed by someone else. You are caressed by your own self. Because that person who's caressing you has got your own seed inside. And that's called love. That's called beingness. So now think carefully. Many a times in our life, we seek for approval from others. Is that love? Whatever respect that you're having from someone else is not going to be fulfilling because there is no love. Your demand for attention, your demand to be an identity of your own right now is not necessary. In fact, it is a separation from everyone else. So, what is love? Love is realizing that there is no separation in all of us. Would you need someone to help you? No, of course not. You are being helped by your own self. You're being fulfilled completely in your own being. You don't need someone to say that you are special. You don't need that. You don't need to see the world from a third-party perspective. No longer you need to do that. Yes, when you have a pain, you don't need to see that pain as hurting you. No, because I'm the pain. I'm the one who created the pain for me to touch myself. So what is beingness? I hope you get it right. So the question really is, how are we going to have a relationship with ourselves? Like as though we are having sex with the other party. Space-time is actually being provided to us to enable us to have a relationship with another person, like as though we're having a relationship with ourselves. Because if we are having only a relationship with another person, and that person is separated from us, then we are not going to have a relationship with ourselves at all. So to achieve that relationship with ourselves, we have to have a relationship with another person whose seed we have planted into. Only then when that happens, then there is a relationship whereby I could be relating with myself while relating with another person. Is that correct? Now this is therefore the greatest puzzle of all. How do you have a relationship with yourself like as though you're having it with someone else, and at a deeper level than sexuality? But maybe you are thinking now, come on David, why don't I just have a relationship with myself? Why must I have a relationship with another person in order to have a relationship with myself? But the fact is, you cannot. You cannot have a relationship with yourself. That's why space-time has been provided, so that you could have a relationship with another person and have a relationship with yourself. You can't have a relationship with yourself, can you? Try doing that. You see, if you have a relationship with yourself, and if you're a man, then you will need to spill the sperm out of your body. And the sperm doesn't go back to yourself. That's the problem. If you're a woman and if you want to have a relationship with yourself, you need an object to help you with the pleasure. And again, you are not having the seed to receive into yourself. You're not having the sperm. You're just simply having pleasure. So you can't do that relationship with your own self because it is without the seed. I look at a boy, and at the beginning of his life, what he's doing? He handles all kinds of objects around him. He's trying to understand the world he lives in physically. It was only in his latter years, maybe at the age of 7, that he began to be able to conceptualize the object that he sees around him, and it becomes a thought in his mind. In the same way with you and I. Now, you have a body, right? You're given the physicality to handle it. It takes a while for you to understand the physicality, which is yourself. It also takes a while for you to handle the person that you see all around you, which is the physicality that you see in other people. But as years go by, you are going to conceptualize it. Isn't that right? You're going to get a presence about yourself. You're going to discover about your own identity, not based on identity, which is not based on physical identity, right? But rather based on an idea of who you are. So you have progressed from physicality to concept, but concepts is still not enough. There's more progress to make. And what is the next progress? These concepts must turn into reality. So get me straight. You see, but the truth is that reality is not just an idea. Reality is also not a concept. You see, what is happening is that as you gather an idea of yourself and discover an idea of who David Chu is, for example, but you're not getting to the reality. You must turn this concept and identity that you know in your mind into a breath, into the seed. For without the seed, there is no life whatsoever. So before I close this video, I want to emphasize this. The reason why you relate with somebody else is that you are trying to learn about yourself. And the universe gives you time for that learning. You learn about them physically at the beginning. But finally, ultimately, You have to turn all this physicality not just to concepts of the mind, but into the seed, into the reality of the breath. Yes. But the universe has been very patient with you. So you learn how to relate with other people, because that is physicality. You learn how to relate with other people first. But the true intention of the universe is that you relate with yourself directly. But how will you know how to do that? The universe gives you time to discover more and more of what it means to relate with yourself by you studying what it means to relate with others. That's the reason why you have an opportunity to relate with others. But you thought that relating with others is a finality of it. No, it is not. Ultimately, you have to learn to relate with yourself and yourself only. I am that I am. That is my name forever, for eternity.